pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I remind audience and counselors, please put your phones on vibrate. And we will have roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Daniel Scalisi.
Here.
Councilor Becker.
Here.
Councilor Lundstrom.
Here.
Councilor Sherman. Here. Councilor Quinlan. Here.
Okay, you all have a copy of the minutes of the last regular meeting on June 24th. Need a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Have a second? Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion approved. Go on to visitors and delegation. We have nothing on the agenda for delegations or visitors. Anybody, any citizen that would like to comment to this body? If not, we will move on. Okay. Management. Second and final reading of ordinance number 876-19, amending Article 2 of the Chapter 10 of the Brush Municipal Code to establish smoke-free city-owned parks and public places. Monty, you're going to speak to that?
Yep, so this is the second and final reading. City Council approved that ordinance a meeting or two ago, so this is just part of the normal process. This ordinance was directed by the City Council for the city attorney and city clerk, and I believe also the police chief kind of work on that jointly. So final step of the process before it goes into effect.
Okay, thank you. Council, I need somebody to make a motion to approve by reading the ordinance. Just the title of the ordinance, please.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 876-19, second final reading, amending Article 2 of Chapter 10 of the Brush Municipal Code to establish a smoke-free city-owned parks and public places.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
A second.
A second. All in favor? Signify. Well, we'll do a roll call vote. I'm sorry.
Mayor Pro Tem Scalisi.
Yes.
Councilor Becker.
Yes.
Councilor Lundstrom.
Yes.
Councilor Sherman.
Yes.
Councilor Quinlan.
Yes.
The next item is the first reading of ordinance number 878-19, rezoning certain lands in the city of Brush located in the Westwood Second Edition Phase 2, Morgan County, Colorado, from residential low density to residential medium density to permit the construction of townhomes. And Tyler, are you going to speak to that?
Yes, sir. I suppose so. This is just in follow-up with the, what originally went to the Planning and Zoning Committee, they made the recommendation to council, and council did approve that zoning change. And so the goal, as you just mentioned, is to build townhomes, which under the previous zoning was not allowed. So changing it from residential low density to residential medium density makes an allowance for townhomes. They have 4 different lots that they purchased, and so the next step would be to subdivide those into 6 total pieces of land to build the townhomes on, so they can sell each one of those individually.
Very good. Any questions, Tyler? We'll move on to vote then. I need a motion to approve the first reading of ordinance number 8.
Need an introduction.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes. Got ahead of myself. I need a motion to council to approve, or counselor to approve. The first reading.
Introduce the first reading?
Yeah.
I will introduce the first reading of ordinance number 878-19, rezoning certain lands of the city of Brush located in Westwood, Second Edition, Phase 2, from residential low density to residential medium density to permit the construction of townhomes.
Okay. We have a second to,
I'll second it.
any discussion? Roll call vote?
Councilor Becker.
Yes.
Councilor Lundstrom.
Yes.
Councilor Sherman.
Yes.
Councilor Quinlan.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Scalisi.
Yes. Next item of business is resolution number 2019-7, approving the intergovernmental agreement concerning election services with Morgan County Clerk and Recorder of the City of Brush. for conducting a coordinated election for the city's 2019 regular election and appointing the designated election official for coordinated election. And Andrea, you'll speak to
Okay.
that?
This resolution, if approved, would authorize the Mayor Pro Tem to sign the intergovernmental agreement with Morgan County. And it's for our regular election where candidates are appointed, and we do have positions. Elected, not appointed, elected. For wards 1, 2, and 3. We have no ballot questions at this time, so, and it does appoint me, Andrea Strand, as the designated election official to get us through the process.
Okay,
So asking for your approval, please.
okay, we need a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2019-7, approving an intergovernmental agreement concerning the election services with Morgan County Clerk and Recorder.
Okay, we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a second. Any discussion? A roll call vote, please.
Counselor Lundstrom,
Yes.
Counselor Sherman,
Yes.
Counselor Quinlan,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Scalisi.
Yes.
Counselor Becker.
Yes.
Okay, next item of business is the proclamation number 2019-7, designation of July as Parks and Recreation Month. And since Lance isn't here, is there anything that needs to be said about this?
We usually do this every year, just like what we've done with Public Works, law enforcement, proclamation, just supporting what Lance and his department does.
Okay. So we need a motion to approve.
I move we approve proclamation number 2019-7, designating July as Parks and Rec Month.
Second.
We have vote, second, discussion, roll call vote.
Counselor Sherman,
Yes.
Counselor Quinlan,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Scalisi.
Yes.
Counselor Becker,
Yes.
Counselor Lundstrom.
Yes.
And Andrea's gonna read the proclamation.
Okay. Proclamation number 2019-7, designation of July as Parks and Recreation Month. Whereas parks and recreation programs are an integral part of communities throughout this country, including the city of Brush. And whereas our parks and recreation are vitally important to establishing and maintaining the quality of life in our communities, ensuring the health of all citizens and contributing to the economic and environmental well-being of a community and region. And whereas parks and recreation programs build healthy, active communities that aid in the prevention of chronic disease, provide therapeutic recreation services for those who are mentally or physically disabled, and also improve the mental and emotional health of all citizens. And whereas parks and recreation programs increase a community's economic prosperity through increased property values, expansion of the local tax base, increased tourism, and the attraction and retention of businesses and crime reduction. And whereas parks and recreation areas are fundamental to the environmental well-being of our community, and whereas parks and natural recreation areas improve water quality, protect groundwater, prevent flooding, improve the quality of the air we breathe, provide vegetative buffers to development, and produce habitat for wildlife. And whereas our parks and national recreation areas ensure the ecological beauty of our community and provide a place for children and adults to connect with nature and recreate outdoors. And whereas the U.S. House of Representatives has designated July as Parks and Recreation Month, and whereas the City of Brush recognizes the benefits derived from parks and recreation resources. Now therefore be it resolved by the Brush City Council that July is recognized as Parks and Recreation Month in the City of Brush, approved and adopted July 8th, 2009.
Very good, thank you. Okay, we'll move on to the audit extension agreement. Joanne?
This evening, I'm asking council to approve Mayor Pro Tem Scalisi to sign off on an audit extension. As you may be aware, due to health issues, I had to cancel my auditors. They will be back on August 12th, 13th, and 14th. But in the meantime, we have to get a 60-day extension from the state in order to have their blessings to continue that audit. So I'm just asking that council give approval for Mayor Pro Tem Scalisi to sign off on my little audit extension request.
Okay. Do we have a motion to sign off on the audit extension?
I move we approve the audit extension agreement.
Okay, we have a motion, second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and second. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Counselor Quinlan,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Scalisi.
Yes.
Counselor Becker,
Yes.
Counselor Lundstrom,
Yes.
Counselor Sherman.
Yes.
And Joanne, the next one is for you also, CDBG Statement of Assurance and Certifications.
Right. You may recall back on March 25th, we had a public hearing to be the pass-through for Ebenezer to do an elevator, and so we applied for a CDBG grant for $80,000 to do that elevator. We did find out in the middle of June that we have received that grant, and so now we will be that pass-through. And in order for them to give us a final grant approval, there are 3 items that we need to have signed by council, well, by the Mayor Pro Tem. One of them is this applicant statement of assurances and certifications, which I believe was in your packets. There are a number of things in there that really don't apply to an elevator, but there are some things that do. Doesn't matter whether it applies or not, we still have to sign off on it to jump through this hoop to get this application. The other one is the Residential Anti-Displacement and Relocation Assistant Plan. Shelley, who is with us this evening, and if you do have any questions ever, she's more than happy, and if she would like, she can comment as well, is here, and we didn't really feel like there was much of this that applied at all, but once again, we have to have it signed and council approving that signature in order to get this grant. The third and final is a resolution number 2019-8 for excessive force. And this is just so we don't show any excessive force during that project, and we don't have any excessive force resolutions in place at this time. So we are asking council to approve resolution number 2019-8, the excessive force resolution. All 3 of these were in your packets. Did you have anything, Shelley, that you wanted or needed to say, or do you have any questions?
I would just clarify that it's actually a $90,000 grant.
Oh, is it 90?
Yep.
Good March.
It grew.
10,000, just like that.
10,000, just
It
like that.
matters.
Shelley goes after another 10,000. How about that?
I don't have anything else.
So
Okay.
excessive force, what does that mean? Like,
I'll just briefly, let's see. The Armstrong-Walker Excessive Force Amendment, requires that a recipient of HUD funds adopt and enforce a policy prohibiting the use of excessive force by law enforcement agencies within their jurisdiction against individuals engaged in nonviolent civil rights demonstrations. So we're not gonna use violent behavior towards somebody who would be demonstrating against having an elevator in the building.
okay. I was like, how's that?
But this, I think, would also go,
Okay.
this actually, once in place, would be for all civil rights
Civil rights stuff they have to have in
Yeah,
their
yeah. Okay,
Okay, thank you. Thanks,
So
Shelley.
can we do one motion, or do we need to do 3 separate?
I think it would be better to do 3
Okay.
because you got a separate resolution there as well.
Okay.
Oh, 3, okay.
Yeah.
So, first one we need a motion on would be the assurance and certifications.
I move we approve the statement of assurance and certification.
We have a second? Okay, any discussion? Roll call vote?
Mayor Pro Tem Scalisi.
Yes.
Counselor Becker.
Yes.
Counselor Lundstrom.
Yes.
Counselor Sherman.
Yes.
Counselor Quinlan.
Yes.
The next is the residential displacement. Need a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the Residential Anti-Displacement and Relocation Assistance Plan.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote?
Mayor Pro Tem Scalisi.
Yes.
Counselor Becker.
Yes.
Counselor Lundstrom.
Yes.
Counselor Sherman.
Yes.
Counselor Quinlan.
Yes.
Next area is the resolution number 2019-8, excessive force. Need a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve number 2019-8 excessive force.
Have a second, any discussion? Roll call vote?
Mayor Pro Tem Scalisi.
Yes.
Counselor Becker.
Yes.
Counselor Lundstrom.
Yes.
Counselor Sherman.
Yes.
Counselor Quinlan.
Yes.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
All done. Okay, next area is award of bid of the 2019 asphalt preservation project. And Dale, would you, oh, you're right there. Thank you. Okay.
Kind of anticipated that. Thank you. It's that time of year again where we award our asphalt presentation project out to a contractor. It's the same two characters that are always bidding on it. There's only really two large companies in Denver that actually do it. The apparent low bidder, as it says in the memo, is from Vance Brothers out of Denver for $133,515.64. And the second bid was from A1 Chip Seal of Denver for $179,928. It's about a $46,000 difference. I went through to make sure everything was compared accordingly, and the only difference is that what we're going to be using for a seal coat is actually a Vance Brothers product, so they're able to do it at a much cheaper price, and that's where that majority of difference came in. I mean, the Vance Brothers were quite a bit higher for the chip seal, but they were quite a bit lower for our seal coat. So with that, I recommend that we approve Vance Brothers to do our 2019 asphalt preservation project. Any questions?
Okay, any questions for Dale? Okay, I need council to make a motion to approve Vance Brothers for $133,515.34?
64.
I
64.
move to approve the bid for the 2019 asphalt preservation project to Vance Brothers for $133,515.64.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Scalisi.
Yes.
Counselor Becker.
Yes.
Counselor Lundstrom.
Yes.
Counselor Sherman.
Yes.
Counselor Quinlan.
Yes.
Okay, next item is the second amendment to the development agreement dated June 6, 1988 between the City of Brush and Homestead Meadows. And Tyler,
Sir, so, last month, I believe, council approved the Homestead Meadows 2 Phase 2 subdivision final plat. And, as part of the work that's being done out there, there's public improvements that are gonna be made. And so we've been working with the developer on all the necessary requirements for that. And so they've submitted the majority of that we require. A few more things still need to be acquired, but the agreement that we have with them is what we do need to finalize tonight. There were conditions that were a part of the final plat approval. The council had gave the thumbs up on, and in there it speaks about the subdivision improvement agreement, and the plat and the agreement both have to be signed and recorded together. And so council has in front of you an amendment. It's not a full subdivision improvement agreement like we've had with other organizations. The initial agreement was done back in, I think you said the date. Mayor Pro Tem. So that was done, and then a subsequent amendment was done when it changed hands to the current owner, Mr. Ty Jackson, in 2001. And so since the initial agreement is in place and there's nothing in there that would counteract what's being done out there, we thought it best just to add another amendment that adds the additional conditions into the current agreement that's there, which is what you have before you tonight. Any questions? Good.
okay, Tyler.
Didn't come out very smoothly.
Yeah, you're okay. Okay, need a motion to either approve or deny, second amendment to the development agreement.
Make a motion to approve the second amendment to development agreement dated June 8th, 1988 between the City of Brush and Homestead Meadows LLC.
Okay, we have a motion.
Second it.
We have a second. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Counselor Becker.
Yes.
Counselor Lundstrom.
Yes.
Counselor Sherman.
Yes.
Counselor Quinlan.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Scalisi.
Yes. Okay, we'll move on to finance. City expenditures from June 25th to July 8th. I will let
I'd like
one of the finance people talk to
I'd like
that.
to make a motion to approve city expenditures from June 25th through July 8th of 2019 in the amount of $362,298.50.
Okay.
Second? I'll second.
You second? Okay, discussion? Roll call vote?
Counselor Lundstrom,
Yes.
Counselor Sherman,
Yes.
Counselor Quinlan,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Scalisi,
Yes.
Counselor Becker.
Okay, we'll move on to staff reports. And Joanne, you're first up.
I just have one quick item this evening. The financial status report in your package, you may have noticed that was actually May's report. And then June's will be, you will get that the second meeting in July. And then
Good.
I'll be caught back up.
All right, Joanne.
I didn't know.
You had all that time off.
Okay, we'll move to Public Works Director Dale.
Just two items, with the approval of the preservation projects, we'll be working on the streets, over on the west side of town, getting them prepped, ready to go, so when the crews are ready to do the preservation, they'll be ready to go and get in there and get out. So we're gonna be focused, the street department's gonna be focused heavily in that direction. Also, you'll notice some activity on Edmond Street. I've been in this position now for a little over 7 years, and my predecessor had wanted for a couple of years to move water services from the old water main to the new water main on Edmond Street between Hospital Road and Ray, and we're now getting to that point, because I'm gonna need to do something with that road, and I don't wanna have to preserve it and then tear it up just to move the services again. So we're finally getting around to moving that. So if you see any activity out there, that's what we're up to.
Okay. Thank you. Community development, Tyler?
Yeah, just one thing tonight, I suppose it's just community-wide. Big thank you to the community for all the support around the Brush Rodeo, our 65th Brush Rodeo. So it was always a great turnout, everybody showing up for all the different events. The city got third in the parade.
Come on, man.
Oh, is that yours? I'm sorry.
Staff reports.
I'm staff and I'm reporting it. So with that, I'll turn it over to our best and brightest intern who led the charge
You
on
didn't get
that.
to call me.
Matt Gordon, please.
Man, took the thunder. All right, well, yeah, thanks to the hard work, I want to make sure I get everybody's name out. Thanks to Chief, Ed, Dan, John, Barbie, Dawn, Dana, the Purvis family, the Torres family, Loranda, Randy, Lance, Dale, Brush Citizen Gladys, and Andrea for the cool little wooden coin ideas that we did. But we got third place for the parade float. It was a ton of work and a ton of people helped, so thank you guys very much. Tyler.
There you go.
Good job, Matt. Couldn't have said it better myself.
I didn't say his name, but I said the Purvis family. I should have removed it.
City Clerk, Andrea.
In your packet is your calendar for events. I think the one thing to note, Monty, was the July 31st meeting for CDOT. That was changed, so it is on there for the 31st. And we're gearing up for the November election, and I placed an election calendar in front of all of you. And I'm planning on holding a candidate informational meeting on Monday, August 5th at City Hall at 7. So as always, if any, or all of you will come to answer questions for any of our citizens who may be interested, it always helps to kind of hear from the people that are doing the job. That's it.
Okay, thank you much. Then we'll go to Monty.
All right, one item, this item is the quiet zone discussion. And on the quiet zone this Thursday at 8:30 a.m., I do have an engineer coming out. I'm not sure if it's one or a team of engineers, but they're gonna come out to tour the site and look at the Hospital Road railroad crossing, to look at the possibilities of doing the quiet zone project there. We have in the city budget money for the engineering portion of this, but we don't have the funding yet identified for how we're gonna pay for something like this. That's gonna be roughly $550,000. So, we'll have to cross that bridge when we get there, but first we need better information on that crossing. And also, after the engineer reviews it on ground, then I'm just gonna ask for an engineer to come here and present to council and answer any questions that you guys might have. And one of the potential funding sources could be a DOLA Energy Impact Fund grant, so we're gonna kinda keep our eyes open for that. But at the very most, they'll pay 50% of something like that normally. So we're probably gonna have to look at, to be competitive, paying like 60%, then 40%. But we still, even at 60%, we don't have those funds identified yet. But we need to get that engineering piece done and the decision from council on which direction, which type of crossing we'd like to do. Okay? And Ebenezer, if you guys wanna be there, send someone down. If you wanna show up 8:30, get more information, or you can meet us out on site, cause we're gonna go straight from here, head straight down there, and take a look at it on ground. That's all I have.
All right, thank you. Mayor and council reports. Anybody have anything?
I was gonna bring up, well, I'm sure everybody's heard about it, I was talking to Monty about it, the fireworks and all the noise, I'm sure it comes up every 4th of July, but I don't know if we have a time, like a time that we have on
To shoot them off?
to shoot them off by, and if we do, maybe even just blasting it on Facebook and making people more aware. I think that if nothing's ever said about a time that it should shut down.
Are you referring to the general public
Yeah,
buying and using?
yeah.
I think there is a time frame when that's supposed to
Well,
happen.
maybe if we advertise that a little better, maybe people might be a little more respectful, I don't know.
Wasn't more of a problem too, they were shooting them off the 5th and the 6th, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And the second and
The
the
4th of
third.
July, you're gonna hear fireworks, it's just what it is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think it's the problem is days
Continuing,
after,
yeah.
yeah, that's the problem.
Leftovers.
Wanna speak?
Mhm.
I was gonna say that, my observation was, it was a lot more fireworks this year than normal, it seemed like, and just in our neighborhood, I just, 15 years, I never remembered that many, that long, and a lot of the bigger fireworks going on. But I'm a big proponent for the holidays, but it was more
Yeah,
than
it is
normal.
fun, but, there comes a time when you need to
Right,
have a little bit of respect for your neighbors. And
right.
I think if people are just more aware that maybe there is a time and don't shoot them up after the 4th, and, if we could just kind of maybe put that in our pocket for next year.
Yeah, there's certainly a way to communicate that
Mhm.
out to the public. and
Yeah.
Look at how to do that in the future.
If my recollection is correct, I believe that exploding firecrackers are unlawful in the state.
Anything that leaves the ground is,
Yeah, well, no, just explodes too. And you can use sparklers and things like that, if those igloo, or whatever they're called. So I'm guessing that most of these things are probably imported from Wyoming. But that's, more information to put out on, attempting to curb what we're having.
well, we'll find whoever that falls under to kind of get that together so we can get it out to the public. Is it the best and brightest, or is it left side or the right side? I'm- I wasn't picking on anybody, I just threw it out there. Okay, thank you. I'd like to say, there's a card going around from Marlene Baker, who was recovering from surgery, so she just wanted to thank council for the flowers that were sent to her, and we wish her a speedy recovery too. Okay, if we have nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay, we stand adjourned.